right?
Right. And it's not an absolute science either, from what I've been
It's
told. It's
not.
not.
It's
Okay.
not. It's not. So let's say the first sprint, brand new team, we work with them and they say we put in like 28 story points. And coming closer to the sprint, we realize we're struggling, right? And we then move some of those into the next to the next sprint planning, to the next sprint backlog. So we thought we could do 28, but we only really could do 25. Okay. So the next sprint planning that we go into, we're going to try to gauge to stay within that 25 because that was a soft spot for us. But we realized that we were done with everything like a day early or 2 days early, right? So this is the second sprint. For the third sprint planning, I'm going to say, okay, well, you guys, we did 25 and we ended early. How about we shoot for 30? So after the third sprint, you can you take the average of the number of completed story points and you get that average. But it's more or less of a gauge, really. And it's a tool. Like a lot of people like with backlog, the sprint, the burn down chart and team velocity, these are just tools to help you as a Scrum Master plan, right? They're not, it's not a complete science. It's not like if our velocity is 25 and we're going to stick to 25. We can go a little over, a little under. Again, these are just tools to help you plan ahead, right? So like Brian said, it's not a complete science. We try to stay close to that number to see like how much work the team can handle without like, stressing out and stuff. Have an understanding of how many sprints it will take to complete the entire project in general. Oh, right. So if we know if our product backlog is like, super detailed and we kind of have sizing for stuff, if we know what our capacity is, it can kind of help us plan out when we can be done with all of these things. But again, things can shift over or under a little bit. And it's like I said, in general, it takes about few sprints to figure out the team velocity. It's automatically calculated via tools using when you manage Agile. So generally, if you were to calculate this manually, this is what I try to do is we had like in sprint 1, we planned for 40, right? The completed story points we had were 24. In sprint 2, we committed to 56 and we completed only 32. In sprint 3, we committed to 72 and we were only able to complete 40. So we take an average of that and we get an average of 32 story points. So the next time we're planning, we're gonna, wait, this doesn't sound right. So committed user stories, story points, completed user stories. Okay, I think what I was trying to do is trying to show you guys that it's still a gauge of what we're gonna do, but I think this one should be closer to these numbers here. Okay, so this is not a good chart, but what we do is once we have the velocity, we try to plan for this, like staying around the velocity story point so that we're not overburdening the team. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, yes and no. If I look at the chart, committed user stories were 5, completed were 3. Okay, completed story point